Welcome to my channel Abrar Electrical World. We are starting a new series in power systems which will be in English. The Urdu version will also be available, but especially in this series which will be in English, we will be making our engineers, Pakistani engineers, aware of the system in North America, especially Canada, because majority of our engineers are immigrating to Canada. So if they go through my video lectures, I will be covering the network in Canada, basically Ontario, because that is English speaking totally. And what are the acronyms used there? What are the designations for substations and lines? What are the voltage levels and some of the specifications and the variations as compared to the European standards, like the standards for the current transformer, potential transformer, and other uh, the difference in the waveform for the testing, basic impulse level, the switching surges, things like that I will be covering here in English, so that the students who are immigrating to Canada, they should be aware of the system. So let's start this. This is the number 2 lecture. First one is the about the voltage levels used in Canada and North America. And please keep in mind that the standards for Canada and USA are 100% same, because they both countries follow IEEE, ANSI and the NEMA standards, and Canadian Electric Code and National Electric Code USA are almost similar. So let's start here. I have shown you here a network which I have taken the names from the subway lines, because I am not using the actual substation names from the network of Ontario or Toronto. So I am using the names of the stations, subway stations, which you are aware of. The engineers who are living in Canada or migrating to Canada, they must be knowing the names. So these are the stations I have given the names, these names for the our substations instead of the subway or the train stations. Now these are the stations here, and there are some abbreviations are used. First of all, see here it is a TS, and here you can see the two stations are shown here. That is, one is the Bulor and other is the Young. This is a subway station, but I am considering them as a electrical network substations. When you see TS, it is a transformation station. A transfer a station where a transformer is installed. It may be auto transformer usually. So yes, this station you can see easily it will have a auto transformer which with a voltage ratio of 230/115. They use these voltages, not 132 and 220 kV. So please keep in mind and try to learn the voltages used. I have made another video on the voltage system and the IEEE standards and the IEC standard voltages for the North America. You can check that in my lectures. Now, similarly, this is an 115 kV substation. I have named Canada. Kennedy is also a station, and Kipling is also a border station between the Mississauga and the Toronto. The last station on the subway towards west, that is the Mississauga. So I have shown here a 115 kVA station as well. I will explain you why I have chosen Kipling and the Kennedy here. A special explanation I will give you. Also, why I have chosen King here, I will tell you that. Now, this is a CTS. CTS, when you see CTS in a network, then it will mean that the customer transformer station. Normally, those stations are with the big factories or the housing societies, and they are customer owned. So they designate it as a CTS. So three type of stations you will see usually in the network, maybe in Ontario or Toronto or Alberta or anywhere. CTS and the TS and the SS. What is SS? SS is a switching station. where you are only switching the lines from one station to another. No, not the voltage level is not being changed. So these stations will be known as the switching station. The line will be going away from here, but same red lines. Here I have shown you the in blue the 230 kV lines, and in red I have shown here the 115 kV lines. Now why I have chosen Kennedy and the Kipling and the King? A special explanation is that the lines are designated like this: letter, alphabet, number, and then letter. So suppose this is line 1, so 1 is in the center, and Y is for young, and K is for the Kennedy. They use the initial for like this. Now, what about then Kipling? If I write here Y1K, it will be similar. Therefore, when there are two stations, they are starting with the same alphabet like K here. You can use the G, the last letter of the word. So this is therefore I have written here Y1G, that is the circuit 1 between the young and the Kipling. So when you have the same alphabet, then you can use the ending or you can use two alphabets. Now see here the king here. Now K is here. Now what to do? K is here. G I cannot use because G I have used in here in Kipling. So what to do? Then I will write it B1 kg, line 1 and B2 kg. So this is between Bulur and the King station. You can use NG or you can use KG or anything, but it cannot be G or K because I have already used here G for the Kipling and the K for Kennedy. Therefore, I have especially chosen the names which have the same starting letter just to show you that how to designate the transmission lines in the network. I think this will be initial information, but is very useful for you, and I have made this diagram just to avoid any uh, copyright reservations. So I have made my own diagrams. So this is, I think, will be useful for you. Again, I have written here for your information that the TSSS line designation will be letter, number, letter or letters, and CTS is the customer transformer station. So this is all about the some of the alphabet and designation used in Canadian network, especially the Ontario province. So I hope you will like this, and we will release many English series video lectures on the protection and the design and everything, which will be basically based on the IEEE standards or ANSI standard. Like device numbers I have already covered in Urdu, but I will cover in English as well. So I hope you